Easter is the #1 candy selling period of the entire calendar year. YTD is the #1 snacking podcast around. So what a pair we make. Well, the Easter Bunny has made his way to town, and he's hopping onto the pod to drop off 3 snacking eggs. The hunt to find which of them is the most delicious begins right now on You Tried Dat. You Tried Dat. Easter. I'm Nick Nowak with our pal Shane Hancock.
Happy Easter.
Nick Egg.
Happy Easter as well
Yeah.
to you, my friend.
Is that statistic true? Is
Yes.
YTD really the #1 snacking podcast?
Yeah, probably.
Give or take 75,000 podcasts.
No, but like over Halloween though, really? Easter over Halloween?
Yes. I was
amazing.
reading that. It's like a narrow victory, but it sells slightly more candy.
And you know why? Because the Reese's egg is the superior to the Reese's pumpkin. That's why.
That's why. The slight change in shape.
This is going to be the most anticlimactic ratings we've ever done of all time.
I haven't had the other 2 eggs. I know we've had the 1 egg, but not the others.
Yeah. Same.
So another thing that comes with spring, baseball season has started, right? MLB is up and going. And
Yeah.
so the fans are a big part of that game, right? When I was a kid, I played Little League Baseball. The fans were stupid, right? The parents are always way too involved. My dad always was chief among them. My dad's been thrown out of multiple Little League parks.
Like actually thrown out, and did you have to leave the game with him, or you two were just playing and he's like out in the parking lot like?
I swear there was multiple times he was told to leave the park, and I just like kept playing the game. And I was also glad to see him go.
Was it always yelling at the umpire, or was it yelling at like the other manager or like your manager?
Just everyone. And I actually have a very distinct like a memory of him coaching the team, and I made an error at shortstop, and I looked over to the dugout, and he like kicked over the like water container, like Gatorade bucket. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, if they hit me another one, I'm going to miss that too, because I do not want to go back to the dugout. Nobody making out.
Well, you got to see what he's going to kick over next, right? There's no Gatorade left. So if you get another error, then he has to scoop it all back into the Gatorade container so he can kick it over again.
And his famous phrase that listener Kurt and I still will say to this day is "Get your head out of your ass." That was his famous catchphrase. But Chad, you recently had a run-in with I don't know the details of this, but it sounded like it was about a parent, right?
Yeah. So my 4-year-old daughter has started taking gymnastics lessons within the last like 2 months basically. Now, Novak, one or both of your kids?
Yeah, one of my girls does gymnastics. She's
does
in it
gymnastics
now still. Yeah.
When did she start? Like what age? Do you remember?
Probably like 7 or something like that.
Oh,
so she was
okay.
a bit old. She switched over to that after a while, but she is still in it today.
So by the time she started, they were doing like real things, like here's how to do the splits, or I don't know, balance beam or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't like just like doing a somersault or whatever.
Yeah, right. So like at a 4-year-old gymnastics, it's an obstacle course. So, they set up an obstacle course, and it'll be like, all right, crawl on all 4s through this tunnel, and now like move this hoop from one side of a balance beam to another, and then like jump on a trampoline 5 times, and then splat into a ball pit. You know what I mean? And like it's like do that loop 6 times or whatever.
It sounds like that would be fun for us, like more fun than real gymnastics.
Oh, absolutely. Although I will say I was watching some of the stuff my daughter was doing today, because I took her today, and I was like, I would sprain like half a dozen muscles trying to do like climb up the ladder on the way she's climbing. You know what I mean? Like
wedge your ass through tunnel.
Yes, exactly. Like all of these things would hurt. I remember I tried to do a somersault like a couple weeks ago, and my neck hurt for like 3 days afterwards. Yeah, so it's just stuff like that, right? Like it's for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, right? So they're not like doing serious things. It's just basic skills like learning how to balance as you walk and, basic motor skills, that sort of stuff. But anyways, so there's a couple different classes going on of these like 3 to 4 year olds, and there was another class, not the class that my daughter's in, that was like started a little bit before. And there's some parents there. There's the way the gym is set up. There's a roped off area in the back, and it's like a couple rows of chairs, and this is where the parents are supposed to stay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have all the areas where the little kids are running around, and it's actually like kind of far, like maybe 60 or 100 feet away to like where the kids are. And so there's 2 rows of chairs, and these parents sitting behind me, and I hear them just like grumbling about like how the teacher is like not paying enough attention to what their daughter is doing, in the class. And it's a class size of like 5 kids or whatever, right? So it's like
Right.
the teacher's not going to be like one-on-one with your kid, but also like your kid is just like doing a fucking somersault down a ramp. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
we're not trying to work on perfect form. And I hear that the lady, she's just going off about it. And she's just like, like I pay you to like teach them perfect form. Like if I just wanted to let him run on an obstacle course, I'm taking him to the playground. Like she's not even paying attention to her. She goes across the balance beam. And so then she says to her husband, like, can you do something about this? And so like her husband gets up, and I turn around and I see this guy, and this man is 100% muscle. Like this guy,
He's a man who could do something about it.
yes, he has never missed a leg day, an arm day, a shoulder day. He's missed all the neck days because he has no neck anymore. Like he
is that like, what happens if you don't lift weights with your neck? You lose your neck.
So he just steps like right over the chain link fence, and he just goes, and he's wearing this like super tight t-shirt.
Rips through it, just walks forward. Use the gate.
Chains draped around his waist. He's just dragging it through the
gym. He just like smashing trampolines aside with his bare paws. But he's definitely the kind of guy where like when he's standing there, his arms don't go straight down. You know what I mean? Like there's like an armpit gap between each of his arms, the way they're hanging there. And he like kind of walks up so that he's like right near where the teacher and the daughter are, and doesn't say anything, but he's just like pacing back and forth.
Doesn't have to.
Like he's on the prowl.
Who's the teacher? Is it like a young like teenager or something?
22-year-old Max girl, right? Okay. This young girl who's like doing her best, trying to corral all these little kids that are like don't know how to jump. Like she says jump 5 times on a trampoline, and each kid of course will jump 30 times because that's what they want to do.
Well, she's better get in order. She's gonna get cold clocked by Magnus von Magnusson over here.
But he's such a man that he like just stood there pacing and then walked away, and the like instructor was pregnant because she was too close to him.
He got down into like a bench press position, and they used him as the balance beam. Just went across his back.
So he did finally walk away because the teacher was either like intentionally pretending he wasn't there, or like just didn't acknowledge him whatsoever,
She thought the power went out because there's no lights in the room.
So finally he walks away, and he comes back, and he sits down, and he just like sits down, and he just goes like, these teachers. That's like all he says.
That sounds like a man who has been told by his wife to take care of it a lot and had no intention of taking care of it.
This guy, look, he has huge muscles, not because he wanted to spend that much time in the gym. It's because he did not want to spend that much time at home.
That just goes to show you, no matter how big you get, your wife will still tell you to do shit you don't want to do. Not intimidated in the slightest.
Well, okay, so let's not give this guy a pass though, because this guy's story is not done, because this guy's kind of a piece of shit too. So finally, so this lady rants some more, whatever, until the class ends, and then the class ends like maybe 5 minutes later. The little girl comes running up to her daddy, and he gives her a hug.
Breaks her ribs.
He picks her up and spins her around and whips her across the room into the teacher. So he says to her, he's like, oh, did you like your teacher? And she's like, yeah, she was great. And he goes, I didn't think she was very good.
Wow.
Okay.
And I'm like, this girl, this poor 3.5-year-old girl or whatever, has almost no chance of growing up to be a decent human with these awful parents who are like criticize, like this, like, let your girl be a girl. You know what I mean? Like, truly awful. So then they left. They were back. That was last Saturday. They were back today. We're taping this on a Saturday. And like he didn't actually get up there and like intimidate or anything, but she was sitting there like bitching again about the teacher the whole time and saying, I guess apparently this woman is a teacher too, like in school or something. Because she goes like, she's like, imagine if I let the kids in my class just do whatever they want. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Choke each other. That's fine. And I'm like,
were they choking each other in gym class or gymnastics?
I'm like, that's quite a comparison to draw between two students in a classroom choking each other and kid falling off balance beam a few times. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, sure,
not quite
fine.
the same thing.
Go choke each other. Now, Dave, go over and scare the shit out of a 21-year-old girl. What the fuck? Psychopath.
If this guy really started causing a scene, what chance would you have of stopping him?
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
Me or the entire collective other parents in the whole gym, the security guards, everything. 0. If this guy starts doing something, I'm just like running, grabbing my daughter and jumping out the window, like.
Recently, this story involves Geiger and I both, but or at one of my girls' swim meets, and the one that's in gymnastics is just sitting in the crowd with me, and we're watching. And every now and then, there's a swim parent who stands up and screams. And I was not a competitive swimmer to know if you can actually hear anybody yelling shit to you when you're like frantically swimming. Like I was assuming you can't hear much.
Yeah, your head's underwater and stuff, right?
Some of them scream. This guy stands up like a couple people down the row and is just yelling things that have nothing to do with swimming. Like yelling terms like turn it around, like things that don't know what it says in swimming are
hit
not
a home
swimming.
Run!
Get dry! Dryer!
Continues to
towel off now.
And we're like, my daughter and I are cracking, like we're laughing at this guy. We're like, man, this guy's a lunatic. So later that day, Geiger's having a party at his house with a number of our friends and then some other of his wife's friends from nearby. I walk in, and there is the yelling guy. He's at Geiger's party.
It's a friend of yours, Geiger.
It is, actually. He's a very good friend. He's a dad of one of Jake's good friends.
And the best part is, like, 10 minutes later, my daughter, who was in the crowd with me, comes up with, like, looking side to side with this huge grin on her face and goes, he's here! He's a celebrity.
Can I get a selfie with him, Dad? It's a good thing you weren't like, you didn't say shit to him, like, sit down and shut the fuck up, or something like that, because then you run into him later.
It's a good thing you didn't get in a random altercation at a swim meet.
Did you talk to him at all at the party? Like, hey, you were kind of yelling some nonsense, dude. Or something
Not
like that.
A chance. No. Well, Laura was like, go talk to that guy. And so I had my arms way out to the side, stared at him. And I turned around and went to Laura and was like, these fans.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my son just got done with his basketball season. My daughter's in basketball now. And it's like 9-year-old girls that don't know how to play. And there is always usually one parent that's going like, oh, she was open. And like the girl could have hit a shot if you even gave it to her. Or like with my sons, especially. Now my son, they're older. They can play a little bit. But like there was a couple parents on the team. And I shouted stuff to Jake like, that guy, space out or like, sort of like basketball terms. But like I was yelling, turn it over. But like
dry off because he's sweating a lot.
Yeah, right. But there was like one dad on the team who is like, it was almost like I was worried for the kid when he went home if they didn't win because he was always like, Nadim, don't let him do that to you again. Like the guy like scored on him. I was like, what? And then like,
don't let him do that to you.
Well, he just hit a
I will
jump
put you in the
shot,
classroom
sir.
where they choke each other.
Yeah. And he would sidle up to me and be like, these coaches don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They need to be calling different plays. And like, we had like 3 games in one day and we were down 30 points. And he's going, why aren't they pressing? And I'm like, because they have to play 3 fucking games today. They're fucking pressing when they're down 30 points. But he would just, poor Nadim. Nadim liked to chuck the ball up at the hoop a lot. So he would like shoot constantly. He'd go, Nadim, terrible shot. He would just yell at him. I'm like, oh, poor Nadim is going to get socked in the muffin when he gets home. Fucking Nadim. He was a nice kid, too.
Muscle guy kicking Chad's ass. Don't let him do this to you.
Treat him like a man. Was he like a young or old? Like he was an old meathead, or was he like a young, like backwards hat wearing sunglasses dude with a big chain? Or
no hat, completely bald. The only hair I saw on his body was like the goatee from, just like the corners of the mouth down.
Yeah.
Like sticking out. And it was all pointy, almost like Evil Twin style.
Oh.
And
a lot of tats.
Hulk Hogan?
Jim Neidhart?
He was probably in his like mid-30s or something like this guy.
So he was older. You probably could have beat the shit out of him, man.
Mid-30s is old. How old do you think we are?
I'm kidding.
These teachers, brother.
I was just mad because he was pacing back and forth and like getting in the way of the pictures I was trying to take.
Every picture's got to have a bicep covering it. Yeah. Damn it, I couldn't get a clean shot. All right, let's start eating candy. We got... okay.
I definitely couldn't beat this guy up. I'm dying.
That's what you do. He walks over to you. Oh, I got stage 5.
I've got the iron lung. Black lung, not an iron lung. I need an iron lung. I've got the black lung.
All right, we got 3 candy eggs we're going to eat. We're going to rate them on a 5-point scale. I love that, like that, indifferent to that, dislike that, and hate that. Let's start with the Snickers egg.
This is going to be a tough competition, I think.
Yeah, I think it could. The Snickers, I feel like I've had I maybe have had a Snickers one before. I don't remember it well, but I feel like I've never had a Twix in another form, so that I'm interested in.
Yeah, definitely not.
So this Snickers, if you've had the Reese's egg, this is a exact same size and shape. It is flat on one side and then like kind of dome-shaped, but it's like an oval.
Has a pattern on top, though.
Mm-hmm.
Actually says Snickers. I do love a Snickers. Now, regular Snickers, love dats all around.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Geiger, when you are ready, you're going to be first. This is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a Snickers, right? So the only difference that I can tell, maybe you guys will tell me I'm crazy, it seems like the nuts are smaller. Like the peanuts aren't as like big and crunchy.
Talk about that
Snickers.
muscle guy.
It feels like this candy has had too much HGH and its testicles have shrunken. And I wish there was a little more peanut in it, because that's what I like about a Snickers. It's got the crunchy peanut, it's got the nougat and the caramel and everything else. That said, this is just a Snickers. I mean, it's like hard to say this is bad. I like it a lot. I guess love that. It tastes really good. It's a Snickers.
Wow.
I don't know how I would differentiate this from a Snickers bar.
Really?
Other than form factor and...
You're crazy. I knew
really?
You thought I might tell you that.
Well, then, other than the peanuts being less good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's easy enough to differentiate from a regular Snickers bar, but it is still a Snickers. You know what I mean? Like, it's all the same components. So I understand what both of you are saying here. To me, the ratio is a little fucked up with this form factor change. I agree got
a little fucked up. Whoa, all right.
He's right. I think he's right.
All right.
It's like kind of too much caramel, actually. Like, it feels like the layer of caramel didn't shrink at all while the rest of the layers did. Like you mentioned, there's far fewer peanuts and stuff like that. Having said all that, like, this still tastes great, I think. Like, I would take a regular Snickers over it, 10 out of 10 times. But the flavor is still really, really good that I will still give this a Love Dat. Even if it's like a low-level Love Dat for me.
Wow.
It still tastes great. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now tell us why it's so much worse than a regular Snickers.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why it's so
us.
much worse than a regular Snickers.
All right.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
The ratio is often two ways. The caramel, as mentioned, and the chocolate. The chocolate is almost the same thickness as it would be on a Snickers.
Yeah.
But there's not nearly as much in between the two layers.
That's true.
Part of the huge appeal of the Snickers is the peanuts. Okay, the peanuts and the nougat make a big part of it, and they feel decidedly absent from this.
It's Milky Way-ish in a way when you eat it. You know what I mean? Like with the amount of caramel.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna like put it in this flat ovally type thing, like to make it like a more of like a turtle or something is a better way to go, where the nuts are more pronounced. This I think they kind of missed the mark a little bit on this. It tastes fine, right? To me, it tastes totally fine, but I am disappointed in it. And I was actually debating between an indifferent and a like. Take one more bite here.
Come on. You fucking
And
say indifferent.
It still tastes good.
Fucking
No
break.
shit.
Not great, though. And I love Snickers. I love it. And this way, it's disappointing. I'm going to give it a like that, but a low level like that. And if this thing comes at the end of the year, I'll tell you right fucking now, I'm going to bury it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, I totally get what you're saying. I was kind of going back and forth between the love and the like that. You know, I could maybe land on a high level like that. I might change my score later in the episode. We'll see. So I get what you're saying. It's definitely way worse than a regular Snickers.
should we do the Reese's now or save it? What do you think?
Let's do it now.
It's a little anticlimactic. Yeah, I think we know what's going to happen. We're all going to hate it.
So the Reese's egg. I mean, if you're gonna knock the Reese's egg about something, it doesn't look. The presentation is shit compared to how nice the Snickers one looked on top.
Doesn't look like an egg to you.
The presentation is shit because it looks like a piece of shit. Actually, it's kind of funny because they had. Did you guys see they had Reese's footballs? Like when when NFL season was going to start, they had Reese's footballs, and I was so excited because on the packaging, it looks like a football, and they even had like carved laces out of the top so that you could see the peanut butter inside. And then you open it up, and it's just a Reese's egg inside. And I'm like, what the fuck? And of course it was delicious. I was excited to eat it, but like, I was kind of excited about there being an opening for the laces and everything else, and I just opened it. It's just a fucking same Reese's egg. It's lazy as shit.
All right, so Chad, you've been waiting, and we've been at this for a long time.
Yeah. 200
plus episodes. And you've waited a long time to rate a product such as this. So now's your chance. What do you think?
Well, first of all, people know I love Reese's. I'm King Reese. Everyone knows this. Everyone around the world knows this, even Muscle Man. That's why he didn't mess with me.
He didn't see you.
Let's be clear. I am nothing to him. But this Reese's egg is either my favorite or second favorite candy, along with the 3D Cadbury style Reese's egg. The two Reese's eggs are my two favorite candies on the planet.
Yeah.
Everything about this to me is perfect. The ratio is perfect. The form factor is great. The flavor delivers on every level here. It's so good. Yeah, okay, it'd be nice if it looked like an egg. Whatever, who gives a shit because it tastes so good. In fact, it tastes so good that I actually...
How good does it taste?
I actually am going to change. After I taste this, I am going to change my Snickers from a Love Dat to a Like Dat because they don't deserve to both be Love Dats. But this is, hands down, a Love Dat, no surprise.
Okay, this is not my favorite Reese's product. My favorite Reese's product is the Reese's Stick.
Fair. It's fantastic.
Now, I don't even know if I'd want the egg to be a 365 choice, which it almost is.
Now that we've got football season and everything else.
Right.
Yeah, I was seeing eggs in the stores in January and stuff, like before Valentine's Day even. And I'm like, there's still hearts you can buy, like, you know.
Then the tree has like barely tiny little slits cut out of the oval sides. Like it still is nearly an oval. But this is certainly up towards the top of the Reese's catalog. It is delicious. I think the ratio gives you something different, slightly different than the cup, but good in a whole different way. I definitely get a few of these every time the holidays come up. I'd highly recommend it to everyone. I love that. It's 2 love dads. Geiger, do we have a basket of puppies?
Let's not. There's plenty of things we can do. But beating around the bush does not need to be one of them today. This is delicious. Lots of delicious creamy peanut butter inside. The chocolate's still good. I agree. It looks like crap. It does not look like an egg. You could just use a slight bit of just a slight bit of engineering and make it look like an actual egg. This is fucking delicious. It's a love dad all the way.
Hell yeah.
Basket of puppies, as we expected, but the Twix could get it done. I mean, it's not unheard of that the Twix could tie it up. So we'll find out after the segment, kid.
Well, guys, it's Easter. So I figured I needed to bring the most Easter themed segment I possibly could to today's episode. So today we're going to play that most famous of Easter games, a game that is played on Easter the world over. You guys know what game I'm talking about. The Weakest Drink. So, it's actually been a while since we played The Weakest Drink. I was looking it up, and we actually didn't play it at all in 2022.
Wow.
So we are going to play The Weakest Drink. So for those that don't remember how this works, I have a couple different categories for you. You guys will alternate back and forth naming entrants from those categories. You have 5 seconds to name an entrant before the timer goes off. If the timer goes off, you don't get a point. It goes to the next person. And if you repeat something that someone else said, or you say something that doesn't meet the category, no point there. And we go for about a minute or however long I feel like in each category. I've got 5 categories. You guys clear on that? Everybody clear?
Yeah, sure.
Shit, we gotta actually think.
Fuck.
All right, so first category I've got for you guys, and Novak, you're going to start this one off here.
Lispy.
This category is called The Weakest Rink. And so what you have to name here in The Weakest Rink is sports or any leisure activity that I like.
Like Chad likes?
Rink. So, Novak, you will be going in 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Baseball.
Geiger, go.
Football.
Video games.
Marathons.
Ice skating.
Eating competitions.
Tip game. Just a tip game.
Sack attack.
Kite flying.
Okay. Geiger.
Walking.
Shit. Soccer.
Snowboarding.
Oh, shit. Baking. Leisure activities.
Sword fighting.
TV.
Science Olympiad or whatever it was called.
All right.
Jerking off.
Odyssey of the Mind. That's what I meant. Sorry.
What did you say?
Science Olympiad.
All right, we'll go ahead and
Shirking off.
score these here. All right, we'll start with Novak. Novak, you first. You said baseball. You get a point there. You said video games. That's a point. You said ice skating. No, I don't actually really like ice skating.
Oh, you took those classes.
I did take those classes to try to meet a girl, not because I actually liked ice skating. Tip game. Which I'd completely forgotten about. Did we made that up, right? Like that was
old basketball game.
Old basketball game that we created.
You had to grab the rebound in midair and throw it back up. we kept having to do it until we made the shot and we added a point on.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that. That was super fun. So I'll give you a point for tip game. I don't know if anyone would actually call that a sport or leisure activity as much as just dumb bullshit. Kite flying, I do not like kite flying. I can't remember the last time I flew.
Who doesn't like to
honestly.
fly a kite?
I don't.
It seems like just a lot of work, and then you just stand there and you look at it. Like,
Yep.
you know, like...
A lot of work.
I mean, you gotta get the kite ready, you gotta, like...
It's a lot of work, and you just stand there.
A lot of setup work. I mean, I like looking at... If I'm, like, walking around the beach and somebody's flying a kite, I like looking at that kite for about 2 seconds and then moving on with my day. But, all right, so no point for kite flying. No point for soccer.
Yeah.
Baking, not something I would have thought of as a leisure activity, but I do love to bake, so I will give you a point for that. And TV, yeah, all right, I'll give you a point for TV. All right, so Geiger said football, yes. You said marathons. So
like running, right?
Right, but you said marathons.
Oh,
so I don't
Jesus
actually
Christ.
like the full marathon.
All right.
I do like
Plus you
running.
said you only run so you can eat.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I did actually enjoy doing half marathons at that when there was a point in my life when I did that. I would like to get back into that at some point, but that is a half marathon, not a full marathon.
Give me a half point.
No point. Then you said eating competitions.
I thought this had to be a competition or a sport. That's why I was confused. And then
Sure,
I realized it quickly wasn't.
I like eating, but I don't like the...
Come on, Joey Chestnut, scarf him down for a point.
But I'm not gonna watch like the hot dog competition or participate in that or anything like that. Then you said sack attack, which is an old joke we made up like 20 years ago about a fake game where you would punch each other in the nuts.
You love doing it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Not looking good for me here.
I don't like that.
I mean, it was a funny idea, but it's not fun to actually do. You said walking. I actually do. I do enjoy walking, like whether it's walking my dog or just going for hikes, stuff like that. You said snowboarding. I love snowboarding. Then you had 2 entries where you came in after the buzzer, and I don't even remember what they were.
Christ. I always think it's a countdown, and I have to say it at the end.
I think one of them was like jacking off or something. Which
No,
I
it's
was
not
like,
jacking
one of them
off.
was Science Olympiad.
Science Olympiad. That's what it was. Science Olympiad. So Novak wins by a score of 5-3. Geiger, you are the weakest rink. Goodbye.
All right, see ya.
Rink.
All right.
That was a really
Like
stretch.
rink.
You know, like skating rink.
I fucking picked skating.
Yeah, this is the name of the category. Anyway, all right, so moving on, next category here, the weakest kitchen sink. We're going on to the weakest kitchen sink. So, Geiger, you will go first here. In this category, you have to name foods, but foods that are like part of a meal. Okay, so in other words, I don't want you to say desserts or like snacks, like no Reese's egg or whatever like that. So like components that are in like a, you know, a dinner meal or lunch or something like that.
So can I name a meal itself?
Well, why don't you try it? And we'll see if you get a point in 4, 3, 2,
asshole.
1, go.
Mac and cheese.
All right.
Oh. Steak.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Wait your fucking turn.
Well, I don't know when the fuck I'm supposed to go.
When the beep goes.
All right, Novak, go.
Potatoes.
Geiger.
Now?
Yes!
Lobster. I don't fucking. I went. That's what I did last time.
Chicken soup.
Geiger, go.
Crab.
Lobster.
Tonkatsu.
Rice.
Eggs.
Oh, I was gonna say eggs. Bacon.
Oh, I got one. Buttered noodles.
Breadsticks.
All right, we can stop there.
You just stop it when we said a dumb one? Is that what? You
No,
you guys run out of ideas. I got it.
All right. Let's go through these here. So this one was chaos at the beginning, but you guys you calmed down eventually. So Geiger, you started off by saying mac and cheese, which was a great answer. I love mac and cheese. But your second answer was chocolate chip cookies, and I explicitly said no desserts at the beginning. I said components of a meal. And you said
Byzantine laws of this fucking game.
So you do not get a point for that.
Everyone knows chocolate chip cookies don't belong in the kitchen sink.
Then you said lobster, but you came in after the buzzer on that one. So I'm not going to give you a point
and I was
for
told
lobster.
I went too early, so I went then early, and you said I was too late. Fucking this shit.
Pay attention to the beeps, Geiger.
Beeps
Then
are
you
hard.
then you said crab. you get a point for crab. Then you said tonkatsu. That's good. Then you said eggs. That's good. And then you said buttered noodles, which I also like. So pretty good showing there. Novak started off by saying steak, which was good. Then I don't remember what you said, but you came in after the buzzer.
Fuck.
Then you said chicken soup. I'm actually not a huge fan of chicken soup. Or soup in general, actually. Like, soup is fine,
soup?
but like, I will pick almost anything else over soup. It's just, I don't know. It's usually just like a pain in the ass to eat. I slurp it. It dribbles all down my chest.
A pain in the ass? Put the spoon in your mouth. You eat cereal, right?
Fuck.
Then Novak said lobster. Now, I wouldn't have given you a point for lobster if Geiger's lobster had come in ahead of the buzzer, since he had said it before you. But since his came in after the buzzer, it doesn't count. So Novak gets a point for lobster here. Then you said rice. Look, rice is fine. I like rice, but like, and we eat a lot of rice in this house, but like just on its own.
You're not really selling why you're not going to give him a point. I got to be honest. I like rice and we eat it constantly, no point. Look, it benefits me. I'm fine with it. I'm just saying.
Look, we eat rice 4 to 5 nights a week in this house. And I get a little tired of it. Just on its own, rice is never really something that I kind of crave. So I'm not going to give you a point for that. Bacon, I will give you a point, and breadsticks, I will give you a point.
Breadsticks?
They're good.
Breadsticks are good.
How is that not a snack? Is it a component?
Is that a tie then?
Breadsticks. No. So by a score of 4 to 5, Geiger wins. Novak, you are the weakest kitchen sink. Goodbye.
Because I couldn't get rice. I eat rice nearly every day. I like rice. You are the weakest kitchen sink. Hey, what the fuck?
All right, Novak, you're up first again here for this next category. The weakest Monsters Inc. So for this category, you need to name Pixar, or we'll open it up to Disney as well, animation movies that I like. So these can be either computer generated, the newer style, or like, the older style hand drawn if you want, but it has to be Disney or Pixar for this.
I don't picture you liking any of these.
Oh, there's a couple. We'll find out in 3, 2, 1, go.
Wall-E.
Lion King.
The Incredibles.
The Incredibles 2.
Toy Story.
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 3.
Up.
Up 2.
Hercules.
Aladdin.
Fantasia.
Pocahontas? Question mark.
I can't remember the new movies.
Too late.
Red. Turning Red. Whatever the fuck the thing was called.
Snow White.
Inside Out.
Why am I I'm blanking on these movies.
The Good Dinosaur? I'm just naming movies I remember at this point.
Land Before Time.
Toy Story 4.
Man, Cars. That movie sucks.
No.
Cars 2.
Donald Duck.
Geiger, it's your turn.
Steamboat Willie.
Why can't I think of the movies that have come out? Pixar.
Geiger, you're up.
A Bug's Life. Soul.
Little Mermaid.
Oh fuck! It's a good. Beauty and the Beast.
All right, the music expired, so we'll stop that one
Did we name
there.
every movie they fucking made?
There's like probably 50 that I didn't even get close to naming.
I would have stopped it sooner, but I was waiting for someone to say something that would break the tie.
Oh.
All right, this was a clusterfuck. Let's go through this. So Novak, you said Wall-E. You get a point for that. Then you said Incredibles. I know The Incredibles is popular. I do not really like it very much.
Oh fuck.
Then you said Toy Story, which I do like. Then you said Toy Story 3, which I also like. Then you said Hercules, which I haven't seen since the theaters, but I do remember really liking it. I wonder if that one holds up. I'm not sure. But I'll give you a point for that.
Hell yeah.
Then you said Fantasia. Fantasia is boring, no point.
Correct.
Then like 3 rounds went by where you didn't say anything before the buzzer. I think one of the times maybe you said Snow White, but it was after the buzzer and you wouldn't have got a point for Snow White. Then you said Land Before Time. I don't think I've ever seen that. And also, is that Disney? I'm not sure.
No,
possibly
I don't
not.
think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
No point. Then you said Cars, and even you admitted Cars is dog shit. No point for Cars. Then 3 more rounds went by where you didn't say anything. And then finally you said Little Mermaid, which I can't give you a point for. I'm sorry.
So I lost because
well, I might have done just
Geiger
as bad.
said something. No, he was waiting for the tie to be broken.
Well,
yeah.
I stopped it because the song
stopped.
expired. The music stopped. Okay, so Geiger,
Yeah.
you said Lion King. I'm not going to give you a point for Lion King.
What? That's a great movie.
I know. It's well, it's got some pretty good music. All right, I'll give you a point for Lion King.
Yeah.
Lion King's good. But then you said Incredibles 2, which I actually haven't seen, so no point.
Okay.
You said Toy Story 2, which is good. You get a point. You said Up, which is good. And then you said Aladdin, which is maybe my favorite of those old, definitely my favorite of those old cartoon ones. So you get a point for that. You said Pocahontas, which I haven't seen, but also it came in after the buzzer. You said Turning Red, which I bet I will like, but I have not seen it.
Okay.
So I can't give you a point for it. Then you said Inside Out, which I do actually really, really like that movie. I thought that was good. You'll get a point for that. You said Good Dinosaur, which I haven't seen. You said Toy Story 4, I haven't seen. Then the buzzer went by because you were laughing about Novak saying Cars. Then you said Steamboat Willie.
Did you like it?
I'm not sure.
Great part where he's on the steamboat.
Yeah. You said Bug's Life, which I don't like. You said Soul, which I haven't seen, and then you said Beauty and the Beast, which I definitely don't like.
Who won this? Anyone?
Well, it was a tie, but since I changed my score there at the beginning for Lion King by a score of 5-4, Geiger wins. Novak, you are the weakest Monsters, Inc. Goodbye.
I didn't even name my favorite one, which is Coco.
Oh, but I haven't seen that one either.
You know what I just realized? We also didn't name... We also just didn't... We could have said Monsters, Inc., which we didn't.
You wouldn't have got a point for Monsters, Inc.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't say my favorite Pixar, which is Ratatouille.
Oh, I forgot about that. It is a good movie.
Yeah, it's like about an eating competition.
The Ratatouille.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
2 more categories here. Let's keep it moving.
Oof. I know you haven't seen Hercules in forever, but it actually is really good when the Hercules' wife asks him to go walk over to their kids' gymnastics class.
And then what happens?
Beats the shit out of the teacher.
Yeah. Hold on just one sec. I got a problem in my spreadsheet here. I got to fix real quick.
Ooh, nerd alert.
You fucking nerd.
Cut this part.
My spreadsheet malfunctioning.
No, don't say anything funny. I want to cut this.
Who is the weakest Excel man?
Okay. So the next category, Geiger, you will be going first for this one. This category is the weakest Liechtenstein. So here you will be naming countries that I want to travel to.
Oh, so wait, does this include some you have been to, or is this all you have never been?
There are some countries I've been to that I want to go back to.
Right.
And some that I've been to that I don't want to go back to. Okay. So it just depends on whether I want to go back there or not.
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Geiger, you are up first in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Japan.
France.
Iceland.
Argentina.
Djibouti.
Ireland.
Saudi Arabia.
Morocco.
Portugal.
New Zealand.
Brazil.
Sweden.
Jamaica.
Switzerland.
Spain.
Vietnam.
Australia.
Mongolia.
Italy.
Chad.
Serbia. Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to say that.
Bahamas.
Croatia is what I meant to say.
Belgium.
We'll stop it there.
Now, the USA.
I have no clue which way that's going to go.
No
USA!
You don't want to go there again?
Definitely not. All right, I have to go through this list real quick. And Make sure my scoring is accurate.
Gold's Gym with that guy. Muscletown, USA.
Excel spreadsheet.
Okay. All right, Geiger, you are up
Yeah.
first, so let's run through your scores here. So first you said Japan. Japan I've actually been to twice, but
Right.
it is one of my favorite places in the world, and I would love to go back there. You know, I haven't really been up to the north, stuff like that. So yeah, you will get a point for Japan. Then you said Iceland. It is on my list, but it is very low. Just because I've heard it, it is really beautiful. I'll
By
give you a point for
definition,
that.
it means you want to go. Okay, I was gonna say what?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I thought
give you a
this was
point.
gonna be a rice. I thought it was, might as well be Riceland there.
Then you said Djibouti,
Yeah?
which I
You
know
don't
you
wanna
just
go?
said it as a joke because you could say my old history teacher used to always say "shake shake Djibouti." He thought it was the funniest fucking joke in the world. No point for Djibouti. You said Saudi Arabia. No offense to people that love the Middle East, but no thank you. Too much desert there for me. Portugal, you know, to be totally honest, I'm sure Portugal is beautiful, but I'm just like not that into Europe in general.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not going to give you
Named
Portugal.
a lot of European countries.
Ruh-roh.
You know, I get all of Europe on his trip.
Then you said Brazil.
That's not in Europe.
Yes, that is true. Brazil is not
Yeah.
in Europe,
Yeah, I got
Facts.
it.
but they do speak Portuguese there, so it's kind of in Europe. No, I used to want to go to Brazil, but I just kind of like the last couple years. There's other places in South America I'd rather go, so it fell off the list. Jamaica, yeah, I'll go any place that's like a beautiful island kind of place. So point for Jamaica. Now I did just say Europe sucks, but I am gonna barely give you a point for Spain. You said Australia, been there, done that. No thanks. Italy, same thing. Over Italy. Then you said Serbia and Croatia. I've heard Croatia's beautiful, but
Right.
there's just so many other places I'd rather go.
All right, I did poorly then.
Moving to Novak. Novak said France, so I've only been to Paris. The rest of France does seem interesting to me, though, but again, that one's pretty low on the list, but I'll give you a point for France. Argentina, one of those places in South America I would rather go than Brazil, so you get a point for Argentina. Ireland, already been to. No thanks for going again. Morocco, whatever.
You're running out of places to go, Chad.
Yeah, no, you guys missed Novak said a couple later, but you had a big blind spot all through Asia where there's tons of countries I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand though is pretty high up on the list, so I'll give you a point for New Zealand. You said Sweden, which maybe someday, but for me it's just like a little too cold. I'm not super into like super cold places on vacation. Maybe I could go there over the summer, but whatever. So no point for Sweden. And similarly, Switzerland, like I'm sure it's cool, but again, like I'm just whatever with Europe. I would have given you a point for Vietnam, but you came in after the buzzer. So no point there. You said Mongolia, though. I am interested in going to Mongolia. I think that would be cool. Then you said Chad.
Yes.
Yes.
I do not want to go to Chad.
No.
You said the Bahamas. I'm down for the Bahamas. Sounds fun. And you closed it out with Belgium, which I don't want to go to Belgium. So no offense to anybody, any of our 3 European listeners that we have. I think we actually have one in Sweden.
You just fucked up.
Please don't unsubscribe. I'm sure your country's great.
Birdie in the birdie, you're in the weakest drink.
So by a score of 5-4, Novak, you win. Geiger, you are the weakest Liechtenstein.
Okay, can we just point out it's Liechtenstein, not Liechtenstein. That's not even the name of the country.
I like Chad. I'm called that 4 or 5 times a week. No point.
No point.
All right, Novak, you'll go first. We'll just bang through this one real quick. Probably won't go that long. I don't think this one's going to last. So in the past, we did weakest tall drink of water. which was Hunks. And then we did Weak as a Dark Web, Tall Drink of Water, which was Hunky Mascots. This is Weakest Ghostly Tall Drink of Water. So, Novak, you are going first. You need to name Ghostly Hunks. Interpret that how you will. Novak, you're up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Cary Grant.
Patrick Swayze in Ghost.
Oh. Slimer.
Casper.
John Wayne. Could they just be dead?
JFK?
Oh, that's a good one.
Tiger, you're up.
Rock Hudson.
Oh my God, who's the ghost? Peter Venkman.
Davy Crockett. Who fucking knows?
Blair Witch.
Bob Ghostman.
What? Tiger, you're up.
Ghosty.
Downton Abbey.
Your gymnastic teacher that guy beat the shit out of her.
okay. We can stop. Since Novak hasn't said anything for a while.
Ghost Hunks. What are we supposed to do with this?
At first, I was just like actors that are dead or something, but then you started naming real ghosts. So,
but actors that are dead, 100% qualified under the name.
I don't think I named but one thing that deserves a point there.
All right. Well, you did name Cary Grant. I will give you a point for Cary Grant, Novak.
Hell yeah.
Then you said Slimer. Well, Dan Aykroyd knows that Slimer gives the best beaches on the market. He himself is not a hunk. He's a bit of a slob.
Yeah,
a bit of a slob.
That's fair.
Little too green for my taste, personally. You said John Wayne. I'm not attracted to John Wayne at all.
Liar.
Cary Grant gets it rock hard, though.
Then the buzzer went by. Then you said Peter Venkman. Which, yes.
Which one was he? Was that Harold Ramis or is that...
No, that's Bill Murray.
Yeah, it's Bill Murray.
Both Bill Murray's still alive, and technically, like, maybe if Venkman had died canonically in the movie.
I could have said Egon. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you really missed your chance there.
Well, you wouldn't have got a point for Egon. You said Blair Witch. Did they ever... I've never seen that movie. Did they actually show the Blair Witch?
No ghosts in it at all.
Oh, okay.
It was not someone's name.
And then the
Paranormal Activity.
Then the buzzer went by like twice more.
1 point.
Geiger, you said Patrick Swayze in Ghost specifically. I will give you a point for
That's a good
that.
one.
Mm-hmm. Then you said Casper.
He's innocent but hot.
If you'd have said Kasparov, you might have got a
point. Then you said JFK. Not a JFK fan personally.
Ooh, I thought I had that one.
Yeah, I don't think he's handsome.
No, you're lost.
Voice very annoying.
I think that's the only other actual human I named.
Well, then you said Rock Hudson. We'll come back to that one. Then you said Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
Do we actually know what Davy Crockett looked like?
Frontier hunk.
He had one of those like coonskin caps.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like using animal fur in clothing, so I'm not going to give you a point for Davy Crockett.
You're canceling Davy Crockett.
Oh my God,
Crockett, you canceled. Then you said Bob Ghostman.
Here's Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett, look at that! Look at that slab of beef. Nice cheekbones.
Looks like a true ghoul. Then I think you were trying to make a goatsy ghosty joke.
Yep, succeeded, I think.
Okay.
I think you tried to be funny.
I think you tried to rescue this shit segment. No, I'm kidding.
So we got to come back to Rock Hudson, and the reason we got to come back to Rock Hudson is because I have no fucking idea who that is or what he looks like.
He was a movie star a long time ago.
He's the tiebreaker, whether you think he's handsome?
I'm going to Google him to check the tiebreaker.
All comes down to this.
What did you say, Rock Hudson?
You said Cary Grant, and it made me think of him.
Well, look, okay, so he's got that kind of, like 50s, 1950s sort of handsome. That's not always great.
When he was alive, what do you want him to look like? Tony Hawk?
How about this pair? For my own favor, how about this picture of Rock Hudson? Do you
Oh, no.
Misappropriates?
Look, he was playing a role.
Yeah, that's a little problematic, him playing a Native American character there.
Okay, well, remember when Slimer was an Amistad? That was pretty bad.
Also, there's a picture of him holding a cigarette. Don't love that. But, he could have some nice cum gutters here. I'm not sure.
Also, here's Rock Hudson in his very old age.
Oh, God.
Oh, got a little tickler.
Did they dig him up from the ground and open his coffin to take that picture?
He was probably 50.
Fairly handsome in his...
Yeah. In the interest of breaking the tie, I am going to give you a point for Rock Hudson.
Yes.
He does look like a handsome man. So.
You're a Rock Hudson supporter.
Look, I think he's handsome, and I approve of all of the actions he's done in his life.
Look at this square-ass jaw.
Oh, man. Fucking could break walnuts on that forehead.
That's a fucking haircut you can set your watch to.
So you guys did fantastic here by a score of 2-1. Geiger wins. Novak, you are the weakest ghostly tall drink of water. Goodbye.
All right, Twix. Let's eat the Twix. Twix egg. It looks exactly like the other eggs. And they did manage to imprint the word Twix on top.
It's got some ripples on it a little bit.
Yeah, as a Twix does.
You guys eat a Twix regularly? Like in your rotation?
Yeah, I like Twix.
It's not in my rotation, but it is good. I'm not against it at all. I actually really like the peanut butter Twix.
I was just going to say the same thing. Me too.
I agree, it's good. I did kind of... There was a period of my life where I was eating Twix a lot, and I think I kind of burned out on the regular Twix. So I never reach for it anymore, but it is a good bar.
Period of my life.
Look, I had some dark days.
Rock Hudson and I used to share a Twix every now and again. It was a rough area of my life.
And every season too.
There is a Twix. Turn in my mouth.
Okay, I gotta go first. This one tastes the least like the candy bar. It's obviously the same ingredients. I don't think the ratio is too far off. But there's something about eating a Twix in the stick form that lends to what do you feel like it should taste like. It's weird how you take the same ingredients and just present it differently, and it doesn't quite remind me of Twix. Like you could, if you didn't put Twix on the cover of this, on the name, and just gave me the same thing, I would say, well, this reminds me a little bit of a Twix, but
You'd think it was a Reese's Egg?
Uh-huh. This thing is
Would you serve it in a meal like a chocolate chip cookie that Geiger's serving?
I do think the cookie part feels like harder than it does in a Twix. I don't know if you feel that, but it's like more of a crunch to it.
Do you feel that it's... I mean, we don't have a Twix side by side to compare, but do you think the cookie part here is actually even thicker than the cookie part in a Twix?
I think it might be.
I was wondering that too.
This thing is harder than a Rock Hudson. It still tastes decent. I think I'm still going to give it a low level like that. The cookie is kind of still, if I just rated this, having never had a Twix before, I'd say it's a nice combination of the cookie and the caramel and the chocolate. It's not as good as the Reese's, and I think I might actually eat this over the Snickers, which I would never eat a Twix over a Snickers in real life. I guess this is also real life.
Is this real life?
But here in this bullshit that we've constructed.
So, like that, which means it cannot win. Geiger, what do you think?
I think you nailed it, Novak, when you said the cookie is a lot bigger than it is in like a Twix bar. Or maybe it's just because of the construction of it, it's naturally going to be like more cookie than you would get in the actual Twix bar. I think it tastes good. It's got all the hallmarks of classic Twix, but I think there was just a bit too much of the dry cookie, and so I'll make it a like that, but not a love, but it is tasty.
All right, 2 likes. Chad, do we have a welcome visitor?
Yeah, we do. This is definitely inferior to a regular Twix. No question about that. There is too much cookie. This cookie is wider than Rock Hudson's jaw. It is too much cookie, and I like the cookie in a Twix, but I like the ratio that they have there. I think they hit the max of what you'd want in the amount of cookie, and here with how wide it is, they should have thinned the cookie down a little bit, I think. So yeah, this isn't really doing it for me. This is actually my least favorite of the day, by quite a bit. I was actually considering giving it an indifferent to that. But I will slot it just into a low level like that.
All right. A welcome visitor. To no surprise, really, the Reese's Egg has taken the day. The
Hell
basket
yeah.
puppies. But nothing today got less than a like. So we do recommend the
Go buy
very
some Easter candy.
Right. I also recommend this.
Oh, Rock
A shirtless
Hudson.
picture of Rock Hudson.
Mm.
In
Hey,
his
To
younger
be
years.
betwixt those arms.
Yeah. He's
Wow.
so he has a reasonable armpit gap there. Unlike Hercules from
This guy really made an impression on you, huh? It's just really lodged in your memory. It must be
A
huge.
lot of these old 50s guys, like most of these pictures of Rock Hudson,
Yeah.
the 50s like guy body was more, it was in shape, but far more dad bodish
Yeah.
than like the guys
Yeah.
who are all ripped today.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was
Right.
it was in shape but attainable, theoretically.
So how can we get back to that point?
Yeah. To be fair,
As
none
a
of those
society.
guys were taking massive amounts of horse steroids like they do today. So,
Look at this body. This is a reasonable body.
from Rock Hudson to the Rock Johnson.
How can we return society to the 1950s, everyone? Let's plan that. Everything was great then.
Take everything back for the sake of me not looking out of shape.
Look, you want to look like Rock Hudson, just grab a cigarette, some inappropriate Native American attire, and you'll be looking like him in no time.
Square off that jaw and you're ready to go.
Mhm.
Geiger, where can listeners contact us?
If you are a big fan of Rock Hudson, if you...
Oh, yeah. Lots
we
of
want to
those.
know all about it.
You
Grandmas.
guys seen a Rock Hudson movie? Like, could you name one?
No.
Okay,
Wait,
great.
which character in the MCU was he? I might have seen it.
I think what I mostly remember him from was there was like a Rock Hudson in the Flintstones. Like they had an animated
Yeah.
version of him on the show.
Mm,
Yeah, it
all
kind of
right.
made perfect sense if you think about it. Yeah, if you enjoy walking or eating chocolate chip cookies, which can definitely be part of a fucking meal, you can reach us at youtrydat@gmail.com. We are also on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook with the You Tried Dat group. We're on Twitter, #You Tried Dat. Let us know what you think of our ratings. Suggest some snacks for us to try. Ask a question for the mailbag, any one of those things. And if you do enjoy the podcast, please let your friends and family know. And as always, thank you very much for listening.
This guy, I looked up his filmography. He has starred in a fuckload of movies,
Oh, yeah.
and I've never seen a single one of them.
There was like 3 movie guys back then. They all did.
Yeah. Oh, you made a joke that he's in the MCU, but he did star in a movie called Iron Man.
Oh, yeah. He was the original Tony Stark.
Yeah. And and then it started many movies that appear that he possibly played Native Americans. Tomahawk, Taza, son of Cochise, Captain Lightfoot. I don't know.
He took every job that would have been taken by a Native American.
Starred with John Wayne in a movie called The Undefeated. So one boner canceled out by John Wayne.
What?
I would get a boner from Hudson, but then lose the boner when I see John Wayne.
He was in a movie called One Boner. Canceled out. Running with boners.
Movie called Embryo.
What do you think Rock Hudson would have done if his daughter's teacher wouldn't have been teaching to his standards?
Probably be thrown out of the gymnastics studio for smoking.
Flicked a cigarette at the teacher. Is there a song that we could do like Davy Crockett? He doesn't give me a boner or something. Is there?
Excuse me?
I mean, I think we
Is there a song we could do? What are you talking about? What do you mean do?
like a parody song. You know.
We're gonna like perform it or what?
Here, live on the pod.
Or
Get your instruments.
I mean, I would maybe workshop your idea a little bit. It didn't quite work.
All right, great. So no, there isn't one we could do. Thank you for answering my question.
A simple no would have done. All right, that's gonna do it for this time. We'll be back next time. We're trying out 3 brand new snacks.
Deuces.